I'm advertising all over the place, especially my name. I'm looking for. Did you bring that?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the April 10th, 2007 Board of Selectmen meeting. The first order of business will have to call for a clerk pro tem for the evening.
Madam Chair, I nominate Mr. Potter for clerk pro tem for the evening.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, it's unanimous. Okay, and before we do anything, I'd like to take out of order the change of policy discussion, which is appropriate, seeing we just appointed Jim as the clerk pro tem, because technically, right now I am only the chairman pro tem, and Jim is only the clerk pro tem. The reorganization of the board normally takes place after the Springtown meeting. The theory behind that is that the chairman works for a year and then culminates at Springtown meeting and then hands over the chair to the next person. Over the last couple of years, we've had chairmen that have left at the elections rather than after town meeting. So essentially the policy statement is just to change it that in the event that a sitting chair is not in office after the town election, then the election or reorganization of the board shall occur at the next selectmen's meeting following the election. And then there's just the other changes in it would just be, we've had in the past problems with selectmen going off and kind of doing things their own way, or doing things on their own, I should say. So I added a section that just says no selectman shall arrange private meetings with department heads or local interested parties for any reason without the knowledge of the board. No member has the authority to speak on behalf of the board or to discuss or decide anything that commits the board without the knowledge of the board. No selectman shall use his position or title to initiate a personal agenda or institute policy. And then finally, the other change to it is that in order to amend the rules of the Board of Selectmen, it was always they had always had it as a simple majority. And I think that most of the rules, they're there for a reason. They've been, spoken about, and I think that in order to change the rules, that there should be a supermajority of the board in order to change them, because, so that it is a deliberate decision. Those are the changes. That it was originally policy 88-12. The new policy would be 0703. And I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at it, but if you did, or if there's any comments on it, now's your time.
Well, can I just ask one question on this? On the statement you just read about no selectmen arranging blah, blah, blah. Something that I think we all said at candidates night is we want everything out in the open, so as long as we bring it here, you're happy.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Anything else?
Last item that you just read on the policy. I don't have it with me.
I'm sorry. Is that any amendments to the rules that?
Oh, okay. We are in the absence of Board of Selectmen policies, in the absence of bylaw, or in the absence of charter, under parliamentary procedure, we operate under Robert's rules, which is the default procedure. Under Robert's rules, it does call for a supermajority to amend a previous majority vote. So this policy is consistent with the Robert's rules that we are obligated to obey in the absence of any other precedent language in either the charter or the bylaws. So this is not an inconsistent policy. This change would be to make the policy consistent with the governing rules, which is Robert's. So I think we need to have a default rule clearly, because in situations where we do not, in the past, it's obviously caused confusion.
Okay. Well, would anyone want to make a motion to accept this policy?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? It is
Madam Chair,
unanimous.
based on the acceptance of that policy initiative, do you want to reorganize at this time?
That would be fine if you would like to make a motion.
I would make a motion that we nominate Mr. Potter as clerk for the Board of Selectmen for the year beginning today.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? It's unanimous.
Madam
Congratulations,
Chair,
Tim.
I would nominate Madam Chair as Chair for the next year beginning as of today.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? It's unanimous. Okay, thank you. Now, perfect timing, I think, also. I would like to welcome the two new selectmen to the board. Congratulate three of you on your win. And welcome, Jane. Welcome, John. I hope you have as much fun as I've had so far.
Is that my lunch?
This is for you guys.
Oh.
This is from Lynn downstairs.
Oh. Oh, congratulations to one and all. I'm proud. Good luck, Jeanette, Santos, and family. Well, thank you. Ooh.
Thank you, Jeanette.
John, would you like to say a few words?
I don't know what you guys are going to have. You can put that here.
John, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, if I could, I appreciate that. I just want to say something I've said in the past. I'll work as hard as I can and as honestly and open as I can. I'd like to thank a couple of people, mainly my family. I'd like to thank the voters who stood by me this year, as you know, and I still say last year. Ed Pashevitz, Mike Martin, Jack Dixon, Don McKinley, Mr. Potter, very gracious gentleman through this whole thing with me last year and this year. First one right there to congratulate me. I appreciate that. A guy I got to thank, I'll tell you, taught me a lot in this town, Ken Ferreira, chairman of the zoning board. 9 years I worked with him. Great guy, very knowledgeable, very helpful to the town. And last but not least, my good pal Ilo. Thank you.
Great. Jane, would you like to say a few words?
Congratulations, John.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for your kind welcome, and thank you again, Wareham voters, for electing me as one of your representatives. Primary role of the Board of Selectmen is to set policy, follow the process set forth in the Home Rule Charter and bylaws, and maintain accountability to the citizens. Forgive me for reading this, but I just felt like I had to say a few things, okay? I believe that in the past, some problems have arisen from a failure to set clear policy, a failure to follow the process as set forth in the Home Rule Charter and bylaws, and a failure to hold some employees, boards, and committees accountable. Leadership sets the tone, and I fully expect and am thrilled to hope that the current board will take the lead on all three of those issues starting today. It's a big responsibility and will take a substantial amount of effort. We'll set clear policy, the process of our town government will be followed, and everyone will be held accountable to the highest standards of ethical and professional conduct. I imagine this will take a little adjusting on the part of those who become somewhat accustomed to operating outside the process, but re-education is a key factor, and I spent a lot of the last week reviewing the Home Rule Charter and the bylaws, and I hope that everybody who's involved in town government, boards and committees, employees, will do the same. I've spent some time this week gathering some information after I got over the shock, and asked a few people to come over and pinch me a few times. But after consulting with the members of the current board and Mr. Foster, inviting Mr. Cronin to join me, hope to sit down with some of the department heads individually and see if we can get a quick briefing on some priorities and problems, and hopefully get their input on any creative solutions that may not have yet been considered. There are obviously a number